Hello friends, welcome to Biotech Academy. So today we'll discuss about myoglobin. Previous lecture was on hemoglobin and this lecture is based on myoglobin. So we'll discuss about the structure and the function of this important protein, which is myoglobin, and it is also an iron containing protein. So it is also a hemoprotein, and this is also a conjugated protein because it also contains like hemoglobin, it also contains porphyrin ring, hemi containing porphyrin ring, and it's an oxygen storage protein. So we'll discuss about the binding of myoglobin and oxygen, and what are the differences between hemoglobin binding between hemoglobin and oxygen, and myoglobin and oxygen. So we'll discuss these things in today's lecture. So to begin with, let's start with myoglobin. We will discuss about the composition, what it is made up of. So myoglobin, it is composed of 153 amino acid. It contains 153 amino acid residues and an iron or heme containing porphyrin ring as its prosthetic group. Alright, so this is myoglobin. It is composed of 153 amino acid residues and heme containing porphyrin ring as prosthetic group. So it's also a conjugated protein. What are conjugated proteins? Conjugated proteins are proteins where we have a non-amino acid or non-protein part, which is called prosthetic group, which is the non-protein component, and the other is the protein component. So in the prosthetic group, we have heme containing porphyrin ring as the prosthetic group in myoglobin as well as in hemoglobin, and a protein component. Now, the difference between hemoglobin and myoglobin is that hemoglobin is a heterotetramer. Right, so hemoglobin is a heterotetramer. Now, recalling from the previous lecture, that what are heterotetramer? Why it is known as heterotetramer? Because this hemoglobin is composed of different polypeptide chains, and it contains 4 polypeptide chains. So that's why it is tetramer and hetero, because it contains different types of polypeptide chains. So if we talk about the adult hemoglobin, which is majority of the adult hemoglobin, which is of HbA1 type, which covers the 98% of the adult hemoglobin. So HbA1 type is composed of 2 alpha chains and 2 beta chains. So it is a heterotetramer. Because hetero, why? Because it contains 2 polypeptide chains. One is of alpha type and the other is of beta type, and then 2 copies of each. So 4 polypeptide chains are involved. That is why it is heterotetramer. Whereas what happens? What is there in myoglobin? In myoglobin, it is a monomeric. It's a monomeric protein. Means it contains just one linear polypeptide chain, and the composition is 153 amino acid residues. So this protein, myoglobin, it is just composed of 153 amino acid residues. And out of these 153 amino acid residues, 121 amino acid residues are in alpha helix. So alpha helix, what are alpha helix and beta sheets? Remember, these are 2 different types of secondary structures. So out of this 153 amino acid residues, 121, so majority of the amino acid residues, they form an alpha helical structure. So this is about myoglobin. And the structure, the 3-dimensional structure of this myoglobin protein was determined by X-ray crystallography X-ray crystallography. And myoglobin is the first protein whose structure was determined using this technique. So this is one of the another important point which you need to know, that by using X-ray crystallography, the first three-dimensional structure was determined of that of protein myoglobin. Okay, now this is where this protein is found. This protein is found in muscles. So it is an oxygen storage. It's an oxygen storage protein which is found in muscles. And where does this oxygen binds? The heme. Heme acts as the binding site for the oxygen. So heme is the binding site, acts as the binding site for oxygen. And what it does, what is the function of this protein? Myoglobin, it provides oxygen only to the muscles which are in active state, not in resting, which are in active condition. So during strenuous exercise basically. So what is the difference between this myoglobin and hemoglobin? Myoglobin is monomeric, hemoglobin is heterotetramer. Again, hemoglobin, the function of hemoglobin is to transport oxygen throughout the body, whereas myoglobin, it acts as oxygen storage protein for muscles, and it provides oxygen to the muscle tissues when it's in active state, or when during strenuous exercise, when the muscle tissues are highly active. Okay, then the other difference is that hemoglobin transports oxygen in the form of Hb4OH. So hemoglobin carries oxygen. So one globular hemoglobin carries 4 molecules of oxygen, whereas myoglobin, it carries oxygen, only one molecule of oxygen binds to this myoglobin. So we'll discuss about the binding between myoglobin and oxygen. Okay, so what happens when this oxygen binds to myoglobin? Actually, so what happens when myoglobin binds to oxygen? When this myoglobin is deoxygenated, that means deoxygenated means when this myoglobin is not bound to any oxygen, then it is in some other conformation, whereas binding of this oxygen to this while binding of this myoglobin to oxygen leads to a conformational change. So what happens when this myoglobin molecule binds? There occurs a conformational change in the entire myoglobin structure. So what happens? How does this changes? So when this oxygen molecule binds to the heme, and remember what is the oxidation state of heme? Iron in heme, when it has affinity for oxygen, so iron has to be in Fe2 plus state only, then only it will bind to oxygen. So heme here also in this was the case in hemoglobin, and this is the case also in myoglobin also. So means the heme has to be, the iron in the heme has to be in Fe2 plus state only, then only it will have the affinity for oxygen. Okay, so when this iron in Fe2 plus state, when it attracts and binds to, and oxygen is bound to this, then there occurs a conformational change. And what happens in that? So the binding, the iron otherwise in the deoxygenated state, it remains outside the plane, whereas binding pulls this iron moiety inside that plane, and and this is how the conformational changes occur, and it pulls the iron oxygen pulls the iron ligand towards itself and pulls this iron which is outside that plane to inside. This is the conformational change which occurs during binding between myoglobin and oxygen. Now, what happens to the binding curve? So, if you remember when we discussed about hemoglobin, so on the x-axis if we plot partial pressure of oxygen which is in mmHg, and here we on y-axis we plot percent saturation of oxygen, then the hemoglobin binding of oxygen and hemoglobin, it's a sigmoidal curve because there is a cooperative binding of one molecule of oxygen increases the affinity of the entire hemoglobin molecule. Binding of one molecule of oxygen increases the affinity for another oxygen molecule, and so 3 times the affinity increases when it reaches the Hb4O8 stage. So that is a sigmoidal curve which we obtain. This is for hemoglobin, whereas in case of myoglobin, because this myoglobin binds to only one molecule of oxygen, so the curve is hyperbolic. Okay, so it's like this. Because there is only one oxygen molecule which is binding to myoglobin. So this is for myoglobin. So this is the difference between hemoglobin and myoglobin binding to oxygen. Alright. So this is the difference. And what happens when so this myoglobin, I have already mentioned that it supplies oxygen when the muscle is in active state. So what happens when the muscle is in active state? So I'll use another. Okay, so this part, this is when the muscle is in active state. So this is active muscle and this is resting muscle. So this is the curve which is formed between myoglobin bound to oxygen and hemoglobin bound to oxygen. So more of oxygen is supplied by the myoglobin because hemoglobin is not that sufficient. And what happens? Why this myoglobin is important? Because how does this gaseous exchange takes place? The gaseous exchange takes place through capillaries by the process of diffusion. Alright, so what happens when the muscle is in active state? So there is a reduced affinity and there is a decline in diffusion rate. So myoglobin facilitates rapidly respiring muscle tissue, and the rate of oxygen, so the rate of oxygen diffusion from capillaries, to tissues is slow because of the oxygen solubility, and what myoglobin does? Myoglobin increases the solubility of oxygen, and that is how more oxygen is diffused and reaches the muscles when they are in active state or actively respiring muscles. And what is the equation? The equation is Mb plus O2, and it's in equilibrium. Mb plus O2 forms MbO2. So it can also dissociate. Means this reaction can either go, okay, I'll write it the other way. So what happens? Myoglobin binds to oxygen to form MbO2, and this myoglobin bound oxygen bound myoglobin, it can also dissociate when it is not required by the muscles to myoglobin plus oxygen. So if we write the dissociation constant, what will be the dissociation constant? Dissociation constant will be the concentration of Mb multiplied by concentration of oxygen upon concentration of MbO2. So this is how we write the dissociation constant, or Kd, for oxygen bound to myoglobin. This is about binding. And what color does the muscles develop when they are oxygenated, when they have excess of myoglobin in the oxygenated form or in the deoxygenated form, or there is lack of oxygen and there is excess of oxygen. So the color of the, by looking at the color of the meat, you can determine, you can estimate the oxygenated or the deoxygenated state of this myoglobin. So we'll, okay, so now we'll talk about the color and the color of the muscle meat color actually, and the oxygenated or the deoxygenated form of myoglobin. How do you determine whether it is whether the myoglobin in those muscles are, or the meat has in the oxygenated form or in the deoxygenated form? Okay, so when there is reduced myoglobin, when there is reduced myoglobin, then we have, means the blood, okay, and this is purple color, okay. When it undergoes oxygenation, and this is for deoxygenation, the reverse is for deoxygenation. So first we'll talk about what happens when this myoglobin is oxidized, when there is more of oxygen. So this is H2O. So what happens, there is oxygenated, so there is oxygenated myoglobin where FBS is equal to O2, and so means here there is no oxygen, here we have high oxygen level, that is why the myoglobin is getting oxygenated, and this is deep red in color. Okay, so this is deep red, and when it undergoes deoxygenation, then it comes back to the purple state or in the reduced myoglobin form. However, when it undergoes oxidation, so what is oxidation basically? Oxidation is loss of electrons. So there is electron loss, and it forms, there is loss of oxygen, and it forms met myoglobin, which is black in color, or we can say it's brownish black color is of met myoglobin. And when it is reduced, when it undergoes reduction, that is, which is, reduction is also known as gain of electrons, then it comes back to the this state, and there is less oxygen state. So this is how you can determine, by looking at the color of the meat, you can determine whether the myoglobin is in oxidized form, means it is oxygenated, or it is in the deoxygenated form. So this is all about myoglobin, and we'll start with carbohydrates in the next lecture. So if you all have any doubts and queries from these, you can ask me in the comment section or on the email ID. If you find these videos helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel. You can also share it among your friends who are preparing for these NET, GATE exams, etc. And till then, all the best. Thank you very much.